Welcome to School of Prop, the series that provides a quick and simple breakdown of Arizona's statewide propositions. My name is Preston Swan, and today we are talking about Proposition 211, also known as the Campaign Finance Sources Disclosure Initiative. If approved, Prop 211 would require anyone making independent expenditures of more than $50,000 on a statewide campaign, or $25,000 for a local campaign, to disclose the name of the money's original sources, which would be defined as whoever or whatever earned the money being spent. Prop 211 is only one of two propositions this year that comes from the citizens, not the legislature. And I can see why. Messing with campaign finance? That should be good. Now, when it comes to collecting signatures, this prop also informally went by the name Stop Dark Money. So let's start there. Generally speaking, dark money is money spent to influence an election where the source of the money isn't disclosed. Thanks to certain Supreme Court rulings, some kinds of nonprofits can receive unlimited amounts of money from individuals, corporations, and unions, and then spend that unlimited money to influence elections, but not have to report where the money came from. And as you can imagine, literally, unlimited amounts of money to influence election based on heavily funded private interests can kind of get out of hand. In the 2020 election, for example, it's reported there was more than $1 billion in dark money spending. That's more than $1 billion that went to not just telling you how to vote, but also smearing the competition, spreading unchecked misinformation, and generally speaking, just making this whole conversation angrier, And everyone's doing it because it's technically legal, so it's not like anyone can really claim the moral high ground with this one. And whether we realize it or not, all of us have seen dark money ads during this campaign. Countless TV and radio ads, flyers clogging up your mailbox, robocallers, spam texts saying things like, "What do we really know about extremist Preston Swan?" paid for by Concerned Citizens Group. Stuff like that. That is, generally speaking, dark money in action. So that's what dark money is, but Prop 211 doesn't formally talk about dark money. It's talking about something called independent expenditures. In Arizona, if you, an individual, wanted to contribute to, say, the governor's race, you could give up to $5,200 directly to the candidate's campaign. That candidate will spend that money in their campaign, and they'll have to report that you gave them $5,200 at the end of the race. But what if you wanted to contribute more? Like, let's say $1 million. You would do what's called an independent expenditure. An independent expenditure is a communication that expressly advocates for or against a candidate and is not made in cooperation with the candidate, their campaign, or their political party. So think of it like an unrestrained political cheerleader on steroids. And when I say you would do an independent expenditure, I don't really mean you would go out and buy $1 million worth of TV ads yourself. You could, but a more likely scenario is that you would give $1 million to Group A, who gives all of their money to Group B, who gives all of their money to Group C, who then spends that money on TV ads. Those TV ads are independent expenditures because they're not working with a candidate, they're just cheerleading. At the end of the election, all Group C has to report is that they received money from Group B, not Group A or U. So that's where Prop 211 comes in. Prop 211 basically says that those expenditures are still okay, but since we donated $1 million, which is higher than the $50,000 threshold, Group C needs to report that we were the original source of that money. Supporters of Prop 211 say that this is needed because, to quote former Arizona Governor Fife Symington III, Arizonans have a right to know who is participating in our elections. Now, opponents of Prop 211 say that this would stifle free speech and that donors to these independent expenditures might become the targets of harassment. There's no way I captured all the details and nuances of campaign finance reform in Arizona. Yeah, make sure you do your own research on this one and don't just listen to me or a TV ad. But at its core, Prop 211 is asking, Should Arizonans require anyone making independent expenditures of more than $50,000 on a statewide campaign to disclose the names of the money's original sources? That's up to you. From School of Prop, I'm Preston Swan, and this November, it's your vote.